Maxi is now banned. Thus, Mannadium is here, and so is Dark Magician. I did not know that Dark Magician was being held down by Maxi. Well, begin. Starting this off with what the heck set to pass. The balls can't really do anything. The birth has nothing to birth. We do have Nibiru, and I don't think Dark Magician summons 5 or more times. Let's keep on going. Ash is here. We have Nadir Servant locking ourselves out of the extra deck to send an Entis, then pop a card in the field. Now, the Call of the Grave could, in fact, finger her if we want to. We chose to not do so. We have Rod searching for our salvation. Now, Magician's Soul sending a Dark Magician Girl from the deck to the grave to summon itself onto the field as the salvation sets up an Eternal Soul. Eternal Soul could summon a Dark Magician onto the field and make it unaffected. Send the field spell to simply draw 1. Yes, this does not look that good because it really isn't. We just have an unaffected Dark Magician play. And the Mannadium player, still no play in sight. Dead Nibiru, dead Triple Tactics talent. We got nothing. Illusion of Chaos adding a Magician Rod from the deck to our hand. On summon, search our deck for a Dark Magician card. Now with Dark Magical Circle plus Eternal Soul, we could banish any card on the field after summoning our Dark Magician. Dark Magician on summon, target that back row card. Goodbye to our birth as we now Synchro Shokan into Chaos Angel on summon, banishing that set ball. On field, 5100 damage here. We have Dogmatica Maximus banishing the Entis to come forth and summon. And that is going to be enough for lethal damage. Game 1 going to Dark Magician. Now, we needed that Entis in the grave to even summon our Maximus, right? We didn't have any other extra deck monsters, so we really did need to use that Call of the Grave on her. We have a dead Theosis. Okay, Ash is going to be negating the Rhymeheart from searching the deck, but we already have a ball in our hand. That's fine. This is full combo with the ball. Ball special summon, Synchro Shokan into the Trisakta. Imperm will shut us down hard, but we're gonna wait for the Vsauce and Ratira before we use that Impermanence. On summon, activate, search for the field spell, which would grab us the other Vsauce. Ain't gonna happen. Now, what do we have here? We have Wanted Seeker of Sinful Spoils. We have Nadir Servant, Soul Servant. Let's see what kind of great plays we make. Off the top of the deck, within the draw phase to play around Droll and Lockbird, adding that Diablo Star, the Black Witch. Did not use Ash on it because generally you're going to want to use it on better effects here. Nadir Servant does not send from the action deck to the grave if the Ash negates the search. So no send, no trigger, no pop, no search. As we now send the other Wanted to come forth with our Diablo Star, the Black Witch, not using Impermanence onto it, setting up a Sinful Spoils of Betrayal, which is an Omni negate, ready to negate anything. And we have a, pretty much a dead Soul Servant here, not so good. We could put a Dark Magician card on top of our deck that we want to draw at least, actually. Maybe not so bad. Magician's Soul's now on top of the deck. Now, Soul Servant could draw a card if we have a Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl in the grave. That's where Magician's Souls comes into play, sending a Dark Magician from the deck to the grave, but summoning it. We have 5,000 damage in the field here. Soul Servant will be counting the Dark Magician on the field and or in the graveyard, so the Ash will just be negating a draw 1. Draw 1, negate. Not enough for lethal damage here. Imperm no good against a non-effect monster, the ultimate wizard in terms of attack and defense. He's got 100 more D than Diablo Star, otherwise they got the same stats. Imperming early onto the Diablo Star because we cannot summon our Kashtira with the Imperm on the field, but we could. I don't even wait. Why did we Imperm early? I just made something up. It made no sense. We're just doing it because why not? Damn. Yeah. And then Diablo Star is going to resummon in response to negating that field spell. It's done. What are we going to do? We can't grab a Unicorn. We can't grab a Fenrir. We have nothing to Theosis onto. Opening up our field did nothing there. Not sure why we Impermed. I think we Impermed because we thought we were going to lose anyway. We knew that the back row card was a Sinful Spoils. So we didn't actually make a misplay. We just had a different way of surrendering. Soul Servant stacking cards on top of the deck to then draw that card. Magician's Soul sending Dark Magician Girl to then reborn a Dark Magician from the grave. Dark Magic Attack for game is what we hopefully are going to see here after drawing 2 into Dark Magical Circle plus the Rod. Dark Magic Attack for game. Damn. Dark Magician with Maxi ban. Mannadium doing nothing. Well, when they actually could do something. We had Imperm, we had Ash. Their Kashtira part of the deck also failed them. Let's keep on going. Now, Albion will be sending a Retribution from the deck to the grave to draw one card here. Droll and Lockbird will be locking us out of searching any more cards from our deck. Nadir Servant shut off, but we did have Called by the Grave to use it on Droll if we wanted to. If we wanted to further cook with Nadir Servant, we chose to just hold on to the Called by. Okay. Now, Zephyros with no other play here, huh? Well, Blackwings are severely hurt by Maxi, which is not in today's tournament, but that is not the reason why the deck's good. They don't summon Zephyros, then pass. Now, we're finally making our play with the Nadir Servant, locking us out of the extra deck, grabbing a Quem. Quem sent a Branded Fusion from the deck to the grave, grab it back, but we can't use it this turn. So what good is our Branded Fusion? It's not good at all until next turn. Now, can Blackwings cook? This is it. We're going to be normal summoning our Shamal. Shamal plus Zephyr is going to be making the Draco Berserker, triggering the Blackfeather Whirlwind to reborn our Shamal. We're going to Super Polymerization, fusing with the field, fusing the Draco Berserker and the Shamal into a Moo Dragon. Now, Moo Dragon could turn itself into any different attribute, making that attribute untargetable, which could help out your Branded Fusion plays to play around the Effect Veiler. So if we summon a Dark Monster, Effect Veiler will now not work. And that Dark Monster we are summoning is Albion, the Branded Dragon. If we activate the Veiler, it will be a misfire, and then you have to target the Quem, and we're going to be like, oh, shoot. We're not doing it. We know better. We're going to be using Call by the Grave onto the Fallen Albaz. Because we don't have another Albaz in the hand or in the grave, this is actual good counterplay. We didn't go for the Lubellion summon. We went for the more advantageous Lubellion play, the Bestial Lubellion that is, versus the Fusion Lubellion. Goodbye to the Albaz. We're still forced to Fusion summon, unfortunately. But with the Garura being sent to the grave earlier, allows us to still make something good like a Dragostapelia. This will still be untargetable thanks to the Moo Dragon, and it will also be able to not only negate a monster in the field, but more importantly, against a deck that uses Exceed Summoning or Synchroing, it changes the level to 1. So untargetable Dragostapelia plus turning your monster into level 1, that's a hard counter for Blackwings. Let's take this into game number 3. Small World, the bridge between Mother Splitter Spider, huh? To grab Simoon. Just like that, Simoon's gonna be an additional summon. Additional normal summon, triggering the double black whirlwind to search for 2 monsters below 1600 attack. We now have Blackwing Assault Dragon by banishing 2 cards in the graveyard, as we then use the Dissipator to reborn the Boreas Storm back on the field to then synchro again into another Blackwing Assault Dragon. Now, can we get another copy? That is triple Blackwing Assault Dragons on the field here. Ain't no way we could break this field. 700 times 3 per monster effect. That's 2100 damage after every monster effect you activate. We have Omni negate any card in the field. We have Destroy in response to any monster effect you activate. We have the Twin Shadow, which is going to be able to synchro into a level 10, which will be able to pop 2 cards in the field, or a level 8. Probably going to summon this, get pop in. We also have the Chinook negate. We also have another disruption here, I believe, through the Sharnga. The Sharnga states that if you control a Blackwing Synchro, you can banish this card, target a face-up card your opponent controls, destroy it. So much disruption. Can Branded break it? Probably not. This is one of the strongest turn 1 decks, up there with Infernoble, I believe so. We have Albion going for that draw 1 play, which will be triggering the triple Assault Dragon. 2100 damage to draw 1 card. Albaz attempting to fuse with the field. Now, we don't need to negate the Albaz if we could destroy it with the Dissipator, because you have to fuse with the Albaz. Damn. Now, the fusion deployment can summon another Albaz, but the Albaz is a hard once per turn activation. Minus 4200 damage here. Triple Tactics, thrusting a talent into her hand, using the talent to take control of a monster non-targeting, as the hot red dragon Archfiend negates We still have our triple burn on every monster effect, as we have already used up our Hot Red Dragon and our Dissipator. We have Chinook negate, we have pop cards in the field mate, plus pop another card with the Sharnga in the grave. Just like that, you saw the downside and the benefit of playing Blackwings, where they could horribly brick and or lose to Max C, which we don't have in today's tournament, or they pretty much first turn kill you with triple Assault Dragon. We have our Dark Reckoning Beast grabbing the opening of the Spirit Gates. Gates grabbing another Dark Beckoning Beast, as we're then going to additional summon it, which would help play around Max C because it's not a special summon, as we now have Gigantic Spright. Now, what did we accomplish here? If your opponent summons a monster, then you can return this card to the hand, add a beast from the deck, and then we'll be able to Synchro Shokan off of that. We have a monster negate. We could reborn a spell and trap card negate. Our field is quite full, though. Let's go. To battle. Now, a cool trick with Runicks, as they make you skip your battle phase, you go into the battle phase, you summon a Gary in attack position, and you attack with that Gary as your turn 2, your first turn play going second. Gary in attack, this is our field wipe. Caddy is going to be negated with the freezing curses not being pointed to with the elf here. Elf would have made it untargetable, as we have now lost our one of Gamma Burst off the top of the deck. Is Jet limited to 1? Yes, limited to 1 Jet is now banished from the game. We now are setting up our limited to 1 Runick Fountain as we banish cards off the top of the deck, not even summon, just to trigger our Runick Fountain. Return 3, draw 3. Finally, we can see more of the deck here. This is Bestial Runick, a deck I believe that does not do so well against Max C, is now a good deck to be playing in today's tournament. Special summoning a Gary, as the Gary and Quem will now be making a Baguska. All non-link monsters will be forced into defense and will be negated. Can we get a good link to pop off? We're going to be using our Runick Destruction within the draw phase here. Return 2, draw 2. Did not draw on any hand traps. We do have the Druid Swarm. We are going to Goddess up the Baguska. Send it to the grave to come forth and summon Underworld Goddess with the ability to negate any effect that would reborn from the graveyard. As we then exceed into the Gigantic Spright, this will be the last opportunity to activate our Druid Swarm right here, right now, which we are doing so to banish the other Gigantic Spright from the graveyard, also following up with a Smiting Storm, which will be summoning from the extra deck. What are we summoning here? A Huggin. Huggin with the ability to protect one of our cards from being destroyed by banishing itself instead, okay? As we then summon a blue, normal summon the Veiler, link this up into our Elf. Elf with the ability to reborn from the graveyard. We have the Carrot with the ability to negate a spell or trap. Goodbye to the Huggin. Huggin return itself back into the extra deck. Now, if we take out the Druid Swarm being sent from the field to the grave could then send the Goddess to the grave. There is that Nibiru we've been talking about. We have no way to trigger our Runick Fountain. This is not looking good for Runick Bestial. End phase banishing the Spright Red before fully passing our turn here. Surely we could just win this duel. Yes, the Spright Red would actually not be able to negate the Druid Swarm if sent to the grave during the damage step, but outside of the damage step, it would have been a good play. An even better play, Sweeper is going to be banishing the Druid Swarm off the field, opening us up for lethal damage. Just like that, Spright taking an epic Game 1 victory. Lethal. All right, all right. No Max C. How are we liking No Max C so far? No Max C. No Max C. Nothing too crazy happening. We are opening this up in the draw phase with our Runick Dispelling to summon our Huggin. This is a good way to play around Droll and Lockbird, which I think is going to be a lot more popular in today's event without Max C. The question is, how popular is Ash going to be without the Max C? That is a ton of disruption. We have Omni Negate, we have Banish, we have Reborn Dissipator, we have Negate a monster on the field. About 4 disruptions is what I'm counting. Let's see if we can play through it. Opening of the Spirit Gates, grabbing our Dark Beckoning Beast here. This will be triggering our regain, summoning our Dissipator. Dissipator is going to be able to destroy a monster in response to it activating. We are come forth and summoning a Baldrake, ready for another disruptive play. Now, if you summon a monster from the extra deck, we're going to be able to tribute the Bestial Lubellion to then banish it. Okay. Summoning our Jet, not activating Jet because we didn't want to be destroyed by something like the Dissipator or the Baron de Flor. Summoning our Malfi the Forest in attack position. That's going to be triggering the Baldrake to banish it off the field. Triggering the Changing to banish another card on the field and in the grave. With 3 more disruptions afterward, that is too much for us to handle. Taking this into game 3. Just summon our gigantic Spright, lock them out of summoning the Bestial and Nibiru, and we easily win. Summon 1, summon 2. Huh? That's not gigantic Spright. We're playing right into Nibiru, it looks like. Summon number 3. Summon number 4. Uh-oh. Hero Kid. Summon number 5, 6. No! Tributing up our entire field. Nibiru has countered our deck here. That is unfortunate. Caddy will be triggering as we get our Duoswarm onto the field. Now, we went for the more explosive play, not playing around Nibiru. Unfortunately, it did counter us here. Caddy could be a little bit of something if they are going to be targeted for an attack. We're going to actually destroy it through the effect of Runick Flashing Fire. Now, I don't think it searches if it does not add itself back to the hand, right? It has to add to the hand, then you could add a beast from your deck to your hand. So no add, no add. As we then have a Baron de Flor Omni Negate plus pop a card on the field, mate. We have Kashtira Birth, Kashtira in Spright. Have we ever seen that before? Well, the Birth would have been activatable if a Runick card randomly were to have banished a Kashtira off the top of our deck, which did not happen here. We have Huggin on summon, discarding to grab the Runick Fountain. I do believe this is the end for our Spright deck player here. Wait, no. Runick cards locking us out of the battle phase. We got no battle. We have another turn. We could wait. We're good. Still within the next battle phase will be skipped here. It's already going to be skipped, so it's okay to activate our Runick cards. So if you're thinking, why do you activate Runick cards? You could have attacked your game. Not yet. So make sure to get it out of the way as you can right now. Tri-Edge Master on summon, draw a card. It's like the Stardust Charge Warrior play, right? The Ecclesia returning itself back to the hand. The turn a fusion monster was sent to the grave. Let's get to it. Oh. Yeah, so that battle phase is skipped. Next turn, they would be attacking. Ghost Bell, unfortunately, being a level 3, not a level 2. Were this to be a Max C, we could have normal summoned Max C, special summoned Spright Blue, still lose the duel, but Max C was a combo enabler for Spright, even to the point where you would play the card that steals Max C from your opponent's deck. I forget what it's called. It's called like Obsessive something. I forget. All right, let's do it. The deck that many believe could potentially be tier 0 without Max C, which is why the deck is severely neutered within the TCG where Max C does not exist. That deck being Spryal. Is this it? Are we going to see tier 0 Spryal in today's event? We are playing a 60-card Spryal deck. Ain't no way. Looks like we're playing pure Snake Eyes against it. Now, this is going to be Snake Eyes Spryal. Something that has never existed before until now. Begin. Wanted grabbing our Diablo Star within the draw phase here. By the way, if you want to check out some up-to-date combos, you can go on over to the Snake Eyes page. And at the top of the page here, we got the combos updated by Fictinium, top-tier player. We have all the Ash plays here. I know that the readability is not ideal, but because it's so much information, I think if we even made it more readable, then it would be taking up the entire page. So, you know, just sit here, keep the tab open, read all the plays, read all the combos. These are the up-to-date best ways to play the deck. It's got pros, it's got cons, it's got hand trap checks, it's got choke points. So even if you're not a Snake Eye player yourself, you could Control F CP for choke point. So this would be the choke point to use your Imperm, Veil, or Ash, your choke point of when to use Shifter, choke point to Nibiru, choke point to use Ghost Bell, and those are going to be the ways to do it. And if you're not understanding the keywords are going to be defined right here. There you go. All right, let's get to it. Whale as the Flame Burst sets up the Masquerena play. Now, what can Spryal do against this field? We have Omni Negate. We have Link up of the field into an Apollo USA. We have Promethean pop a card. We have Flame Burst reborning cards in the graveyard for a huge follow-up. Let's go. About triple public disruptions. We are going to be calling the wrong card off the top of the deck. Spryal Agent has to declare a card type, and if they call it correctly, they get to summon. And if the agent were to have come out early, it would have been able to pop a back row card. So we really whiffed out on that. That's unfortunate. Triggering the Divine Temple on your summon to summon our Masquerena from the back row here, not having to use our Flame Burge. Okay, so when are we linking up with Masquerena, and when are we negating with Borreload? Grabbing an original Sinful Spoils from the deck with our normal summon Poplar, now going into our Linkaribo. As we then trigger the Poplar to equip itself into the back row, we're going to use Flame Burst to steal the opponent's Poplar, triggering the Poplar to grab an original Sinful of our own. So why did we do this right away? Because this sends a card by cost, we could not respond to the original Sinful sending the Poplar to the grave as a cost. We are now going to be going into the Masquerena play into a massive Apollo USA or material or negate, but we do have a Forbidden Droplet. Now, Forbidden Droplet can be negated by Borreload unless they send a monster for the cost of Droplet. Flame Burge getting triggered. That's going to Chainlink block the Ash. It's two optional trigger effects here. The non-turn player will be the higher Chainlink, so you'd have to pass on Flame Burge in order to negate the Ash. You can't negate Ash, then trigger Flame Burge like some people would probably be trying on paper. And just like that, it is over. Very well done. Discarding our Impermanence. That's when you know your opponent's hand is juicy. Setting up that original Sinful from into the back row. The Drone Lockboard is not activatable yet. Summoning our Ash. Ash is going to be triggering the Droll as the Poplar gets triggered to summon itself onto the field here. And just like that, Boda knows that this is not looking good. Damn. We have no hand traps. So we can't just end and be okay. We have to try to end on some sort of disruption. Poplar is going to be triggering itself, equipping into the back row. Is this a Spiral deck or a Snake Eye deck? What is going on? We have the Flame Burge here, normal summoning the Quick Fix going into the Masquerena, triggering the Flame Burge, reborning from the grave our Ash and Poplar, all under Drone Lockbird, by the way, making our Apollo USA with triple monster negate plus the Linkaribo to reduce a monster to 0 attack that would try to take out the Apollo. 1 for 1, you must discard a monster in order to activate it. Ash on summon is going to be negated by the Apollo USA. We're going to follow up with the Forbidden Droplet, sending the Ash itself to negate the Apollo USA. No more negates for you. What kind of big plays do we have here? We didn't send a card from the hand, interestingly enough. So off of the Poplar ad, we're going to be triggering summon itself onto the field, grabbing an Original Sinful. Original Sinful will be activated as we get the Poplar in the grave to equip itself into the back row. Boda, I'm so sorry, my friend. Damn, you know, that is the unfortunate situation of a single elimination tournament. You didn't get to go first game 1. You got drolled for game 2. For the next Maxi ban torrent, do we have to ban Droll also? Maxi and Droll both banned?